everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. I'm so glad you're here today. Now today I'm going to work with two of some of my very favorite things. One of them is not too shabby. And I have got these 12 designs of two each of the Christmas Bakery Good card fronts. Now I think there's a minimal amount left in the store, but I think some more is coming in. So just to let you know. And these are very simple in that especially for beginner card makers. Now, they did come with some sentiments, which I've already cut some of those off, some sentiments. But these, for beginner card makers, you could very quickly make a card by using the card front panel and laying this on there. Now, I got these, and, you know, I'm a card maker, and I like to layer and die cut and do all the things with it. So I did on another video, previous video, I did take a couple, and I did some very simple die cutting, and I die cut out like a frame and laid it over, and then I die cut this one out. These are actually, this is part of this, and I just took the two panels and created two different cards, and actually did a little popping up and adding some things to it and had some fun with it. But we're going to go and step it up a notch further with these panels. So we did this, and I'll try to remember to link this video up there so that you can check it out. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring in another favorite thing. And we are going to bring in Kendra's Card Challenge, card sketches, and this is 20. We're going to be working with this. Now, I've not seen anybody do this before. Maybe they have, but I'm going to take those card fronts instead of the 6x6, the 6 pieces of 6x6 premium cardstock, and, you know, using the cutting guide and doing that. I'm actually taking these card fronts and we are going to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to kind of follow along. I think it's a super fun idea. I wasn't sure if it would work, but I did my cutting and I think it's going to work out great. So let's get started on, actually we've got 4, 5, 6, and 7 sketches. Sorry. I don't know why I said 1 through 5, but I've got sketches 4, 5, 6, and 7 and actually 8 that we're going to be working with. So anyway, so let's get started. And I have done my cutting and I've got everything layered out. Now we'll probably use some of these sentiments, bring some other things in. I've got the enamel dots from Not Too Shabby that are coordinating with this. Really, really pretty. I've got some twine that I might use, and I've got a little bit of red ribbon that I might use as well. I did bring in my Distressed Oxide and my Vintage Photo and a blending brush because I think I might do something with that. But that's pretty much everything we're going to work with. Kendra's Card Challenges sketches 4 through 8. And we've got the Not Too Shabby card fronts. And these are super pretty. Let me just flip them. Well, you can see the design. And I've used some of these. So very, very pretty, very, you know, bakery inspired, and looks like a bakery shop. This one's super cute. I didn't cut anything with these yet, but we might work with them later on my channel, but really, really, really pretty. So anyway, let's just go ahead and get started. We kind of did a little bit of an introduction on that, and I have got sketch 4 ready to go. And what I have done is I'm going to actually, because these are portrait style card fronts, I'm going to actually turn sketch 4 in this direction, and we'll build our scene from this direction, and it'll work. So I've got my card base, and I'm just going to give it a good score. I like to do that. And I've got some layering panels on the sketches. You know, if it's gray or black, it's generally a layering panel, and you bring in extra. So what I'm going to do is, and I want to see if I want to get these laid down. I think I'm going to go ahead and layer up my panels already and get that ready to go. Now my glue's been sitting out. I've kind of been in a little bit of a crafty slump, and so my glue's been sitting here uncapped and not worked with for at least a day. Anyway, looks like it's flowing just fine. So we're going to get this panel laid down, and we're going to start building card sketch 4. And why I started with 4 is beyond me. I guess I had my pages out of order, and I thought I was starting with the first one, but that's okay. We can backtrack and get the other ones later. So we'll do that. Just trying to get this laid down on here. It's not completely straight, but I think it'll work out all right. And we're going to lay it down. Let's go ahead, before we put it on our card base, let's go ahead and line this up. So we've got this scene, and I thought I had kept this scene handy so I could reference it when I'm reassembling it, but I don't know what I did. Let's see if I can find it. I don't know if it's that one or at any rate, we'll get there. I think it's this one right here. So what we have some strips that are all the same color. This is the top, or yeah, this goes to the top. And then we have some that are the same length, and then we have some that are shorter. So it calls for panels that are, you know, this length, and then a narrow length, and some are shorter than others. And I'm just going to try and get this lined up how it goes so that I will know what I'm doing. I feel like I have, yeah, that smaller layer there. And so that we can see the difference in it, I'm going to glue one down, pop one up, glue one down, pop one up, glue one down, pop one up. And then that will give us our kind of different levels of dimension and create kind of a fun scene. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know if anybody else has tried this out before, but I thought it would be super fun. So I think I've got them all in order here. Let's just slide our pieces underneath here. And I think for my purpose of getting it lined up right, I'm going to kind of lay them all out just like I did on my mat there. So let's just go ahead and hold those down, and then let's just try to build our border like our sketch calls for, and get these lined up on there and create our scene. I think it's going to be fun. I thought it was a neat idea. I kept thinking about these card front panels and how I could work with them. And so this is just one idea that I came up with, and I thought it would be fun. And this sketch is going to take longer than the other just because of the complexity of the sketch. So there is what we've got. I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to grab just my tweezers, and we'll pull each one up and get it laid down as we go. And I think that'll help everything kind of come together. Now on this one, I'm trying to line my scene up with how I cut it. Whoops. Let's get that on there nice and straight. And then we'll just line this up. I think we've got a good border there on the side. So then for the next one, and hopefully I've got some good, I don't have a lot of foam tape. Let's see what I've got. Okay, I think we'll go with this. I've got some just narrow strips of foam tape here, and then we'll pop this up. And these are going to lay, now that I've got the first one on there and I've kind of got a ballpark idea, these will lay right up next to each other, so it shouldn't be too terribly difficult. But anyway, and these are going to look, you know, all very different in the way that I'm going to work with them. Sketch 7 is going to be really cool because we actually cut out our panel, and then we die cut some circles out of it that we're going to line up. So that's going to be super fun. So I hope you stick with me on this and just kind of follow along, because I think it's going to be fun. And I want to try and get these straight. I'm standing up to try and see what I'm doing because I'm using that foam tape. I probably should have put some glue on there to help me, give me some wiggle room. And I say that, and I'm going to struggle here right now. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's be smart, work smarter, not harder. So we got some movability here. Okay. And let's get these let's get our scene lined up. There we go. It's going to look interesting, I think. Now for the next one, it's going to get just glued down. And we're going to line it up. And this is one of them where you really kind of have to stand up over it to get it lined up. So, and then this one is our next one. And we're going to put some glue on it. And I don't know, you guys let me know in the comment box what you think, but I think it's kind of a fun idea, and it's kind of an interesting way to use these card front panels and kind of get a little creative with them. And now certainly if you just want to lay those down and maybe layer them up on a background panel or whatever, and maybe put a ribbon on there and a sentiment, you can certainly do that. But I just felt like trying something a little bit, and here we go again. Let's get the glue on there. Trying something a little bit more complex and seeing if we can, make something out of it. Plus, use my sketches. I haven't done a full set of 20 yet, and obviously I'm starting with 4 here, but I can kind of back my way into it, and then I'll have set. I think it's starting to look really interesting. So as long as I get my pieces in the right order and get them lined up nice, I think we're going to have kind of an interesting look going on here. Just line them up. Super, super fun. The dimension on this, I don't know that you can see it on the camera. I'll wait till I get them all laid down and I'll show you, but it is very, very fun. And I didn't emboss the background panel. I think that could certainly add some additional dimension to it, but we've got a lot going on here with these different layers, so I thought we would just go with it. We'll snip that off. We're doing all right. This is probably going to be a little bit longer of a video just because I'm doing 5 cards and, you know, the different techniques. But I think it'll speed up when I get on to the other ones. This is, I think, by far the trickiest one as far as that goes. And we're just going to get it lined up. Isn't that fun? Love it. And this is basically taking Kendra's card sketch and, you know, instead of using the multiple pattern papers, actually using a scene and creating the sketch of the scene. So we've got everything together, and look at that. Is that not fun or what? And this would pass for her sketch because you certainly have the liberty to turn it. Now she's got a great big sentiment going on there, and and it's going across, it would be this direction, but we've turned it so we could put one across here. So let's just look at our sentiments and see what we've got here. I think Christmas calories don't count as super fun, but it's a lot bigger than what I want to use. So we could use official cookie tester, or we could do happiness is homemade. Let's do the official cookie tester because I think we've got a lot of cookies showing here, and we could do that. Actually, we could completely just leave off the cinnamon if we want, but let's go ahead and cut these down and we'll have them ready for our cards as we move along. So I just need to locate my trimmer here, and let's just get these cut and ready to go, and then we can just work with them as we want to work with them. Let's see. She has got a full set. I don't know that I want to put, a great big long one across there. For one thing, I'm going to cut the sides of it off and cut it down a little bit. But I think we could actually separate this and kind of do, happiness is homemade on there like that. We could certainly do that. I think that's cute. Now she has the sentiment going more across the top there, which we could do that. I was just looking to see that, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to kind of keep it down toward the bottom here like this and just get it laid down on there. So I think that's cute. You could do it like this. Let's do that. And we'll just get that laid down on there. And then this will be sketch 4. And we're using the sentiments from the set and the A2 size card panels and creating our scene. So this is sketch 4. I think it's a really fun and interesting take on it. We could also, I haven't laid it down on my card base, so at this point we could actually take our twine. Do I have a loose piece here or not? I thought I had cut one, yeah. We could actually take our twine and kind of go across here and put a little bow on the side, and I think that'll add to it as well. So I'm just gonna get me a little bow tied on here. If I can get it to work, get my fingers to work today. And I think that brings in a little rustic look to it as well. So we'll just clip our twine down, and then let's get this laid down on our card base. I think it's super fun. And with my bow on there, I think I might just pop it up. So let's go ahead and pop up our panel a little bit. And I'm kind of in a foam tape situation here where I'm about out again. And so I'm using my thin ones for it, but it'll be all right. Hopefully we'll have enough to finish this video. So let's go ahead and I just knocked some foam off on the floor. Let's go ahead and pull these backer sheets off and get it laid down on the card base. And then we will have sketch 4 completed. And like I said, this is our most challenging one, I think, of the ones that we are doing. So I'm going to try and get it laid down on here nice and neat. And there is sketch 4. Super fun. I think it was a really fun idea. So we're 17 minutes in. We've got 4 more cards we're going to make. So let's just get moving along here. So for our next sketch, it's quite a bit simpler. We have the square in the middle and then a couple of rectangles that are going to go around it. Now I did modify the size of mine because I can, but I'm still following the sketch. So let's go ahead and we're going to get our layering pieces together again. I've chosen brown and craft that we're going to layer up for our base. So let's just get it laid down on here. So in the comments below, let me know if you are participating with Kendra's Card Challenge and have you submitted a full set yet? Have you worked on a set for October? Or are you going to work on a set for November? Or what have you got planned? Or if you're completely unfamiliar with Kendra's Card Challenge, let me know in the comment box below. I'd be interested in seeing that and seeing how many of my subscribers are working with Kendra's Card Challenge and how many just aren't familiar with it. If you watch my channel regularly, you probably are familiar with it because I run, I participate in the hops. And over the years, I've had quite a bit of content for Kendra's Card Challenge. Trying to get this where I want it. It's not perfect. It's handmade card. Okay. So now for this one calls for your panels, your squares, and your rectangles to have an edge around it. So what I thought I would do is I'm just going to lay these down on here because my sizes, my measurements aren't exactly what Kendra's are because I used a die to create my square. And then because I'm using these card fronts, I had to be very, I just had to kind of go with the size of the rectangles that I had left because these are A2 size panels. They're not the 6x6 sheets that you would normally cut the challenge from. So, and I laid this down a little bit crooked, so we're just going to do the best we can to get a nice little edge on there and just kind of trim it out. How's that look? Ah, that's not bad. Okay, so there's our middle piece, and then we need to get our 2 other pieces laid down on here so that they'll be trimmed out as well. Now this one's going to have quite a bit more craft space exposed. Looks like I've got a little tiny shred of, I don't know, my trimmer must not have worked very well on it. Get that cleaned up, and we'll get this one laid down on here with a little edge. And my plan is to kind of continue to follow the scene. That must not be very squared off with our panels here, is to kind of just continue to kind of create that scene. And we're just going to have the tiniest little bit of edge around here. Probably not the most perfect way to get my layers on there, but I think it'll work. So this is basically a continuation of the door here. And then we've got the tree, and then this is a continuation of the tree up there. So let's go ahead and get it layered up and put down. And like I said, this card's going to come together fairly quickly. And I'm just putting the faintest little edge on these panels. I'm not measuring, the square's got a little bit more of an edge than these do, but it's okay. You make it your own, and it works just fine. Okay, I'm gonna have to straighten that up a little bit. I got a little wonky there. That's all right. Okay, we've got that. So what we're gonna do on this is our center one is gonna get popped up. I've got some foam squares here we'll use. And I'm gonna pop it up, but I'm gonna leave room to get the other pieces tucked around it. So I think we'll be all right. Do it like that, because we're gonna have one go along the bottom here and then one go along the top here. And look at all this. I probably should have embossed this particular panel here, or done something extra to it, just to add just a little extra interest. I'm straightening that up a little bit. And so what we're gonna do is get this one laid down, and then we'll put this one underneath it. I'm just referencing my sketch. Yep, okay, because we do have quite a bit of open space there, but that's okay. This is how the sketch comes together. We'll just get this laid down, kind of try to center it a little bit. It won't be perfect, but it'll be close. And then we'll tuck in this scene to kind of go along with our tree. And that'll be fun. Oops. I'm dropping stuff. Oh my goodness. I got the dropsies. I think I'm just so excited to work with this set and this idea that I'm kind of going a little bit crazy with it. Okay, so we're kind of getting that positioned to continue on with our tree there. And then we've got the bottom part of our door, and we're going to tuck it in and finish it off to where we've got some continuity with our door. And then our outside Christmas tree. So I think that's certainly fun. Now, we do have our enamel dots, which we can certainly bring in some of those to add a little bit of interest to our card. And I was trying to think, we could actually add a bow to it as well. So let's go ahead and get our tool here and get some of these added. I'm gonna have to pick them up a different way. Get these laid down on here. Oop, I got one stuck to my finger there. And we'll lay it down. And then I'm going to put a couple more over here on the other side. And that is my husband, and I don't know if you can hear him, he's in the background sneezing. His allergies are on point today. So if you hear that sneezing, that's what that is. All right, I've got that stuck to the glass mat. When you do that, you almost can't get them off of there. Okay, I'm going to grab another one. Okay, we're going to lay that down there. And let's see. We have our Merry Christmas that we could add to it. I think we'll do that, and we'll do Merry and Christmas here, and hopefully that'll look all right. We can try it. If it doesn't work, we don't have to do it. But let's just separate them. And kind of see how this will look. We'll just test it out and see if it'll work to kind of fill in some space there. Ooh, that's cute. I like that. And I'm gonna pull this off cut it down. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Yeah, I like that. It fills in the open spaces and it kind of finishes off our card. So we won't need to add a ribbon to this one. We'll just get this laid down on here. And we'll put our Merry Christmas. This is really pretty. Came together better than I thought. When I looked at all that white space, or the open space with the craft, I was like, I'm not sure. But this is sketch number 5 of Kendra's Card Challenge. And I think it turned out really cute. So we've got 4 and 5. Let's keep going. We've got more to do. So I've got my little stack of stuff over here to the side, and it's kind of piling up. Now for this one, this is another one that's should go together pretty quickly. It's where we've got just a panel that we've split. Now I'm going to have to rotate it because my panels go in this direction. So we've got all of our bits and pieces in here. I've got a piece of pie for the circle. We'll see if we're going to use it or not. But we're going to get all of our elements laid down here. So we'll give our card base a press. We have these 2 things layered up. And we're going to get them ready to go. Now, I could have put these background panels together in advance, and that would have saved some time, but I didn't. So we'll just get them laid down on here. Get it moved around a little bit. I don't know if my cutting skills or what, but it seems like I can't cut a straight line or lay a straight line down on a panel. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if you guys have problems like that, but I do. And I'm just keeping it real for you. Now, before I do that, I just put all that glue on the back. Let's go ahead and put some foam tape on the back of it. We're going to pop that up, and I'm going to allow myself some room for some twine on this one. So just bear with me here. We'll get there. Just going to get these on here, and they'll raise it up so I don't glue it to my craft mat here. And we'll get our panels laid down, and then I'll add our twine, and I think it'll be really pretty. Going to take this. I'm going to have to bring in some other sentiments that I can use with this set because I've used some already. I don't quite have enough, and so I'm going to need to bring in some other ones, so that's what we'll do. So here we've got, you know, our design. This is our sketch. And it's going to come together pretty quickly. Try and get it lined up. And now for this, I did have to cut away the edges to get it to the right size and then split it. And then you really have to kind of use your imagination with how you're going to get them all to fit on there and everything. Now my red twine I think is a little bit brighter than what this red cardstock is. So I think I'm going to use, I should say ribbon. So I think I'm just going to use some more of this twine, and we'll add another bow on it. And so that is the whole reason for me popping it up, so that I could get this in there. I wouldn't necessarily glue it down to my card base like I thought I was going to do there for a minute, or to my glass mat when I glued it up. I kind of got ahead of myself on what I wanted to do. Sometimes that happens, and you just kind of have to backtrack a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little bow here on the side, and then I'm going to turn it over and position some, it needs to be tighter than that. So we need another set of hands. I'm going to bring in my tweezers, get it good and tight, pinch it, and then we'll put our bow on there. Sometimes I can do it, and sometimes I need an extra set of hands. So use your tweezers for that. And there we go. So we've got that. And what I want to do is I want to get it positioned to where it'll stay in that area. So, and I've got it a little bit tight now, so I'm just going to move it up like that. I think it's going to stay. I think once I get it glued down, it'll be okay. So we've got our bow. Try and get it positioned how I want it. There we go. let's just snip this off. I never seem to get the right amount of twine on there, and so I wind up wasting some. Do you guys have that same problem? There we go. We've got that. Now that's super cute, but I thought it would be fun to bring in like a cherry pie or something. It actually is going to cover up a good amount of our scene. So I'm not sure I want to use it. I feel like I want to just omit the circular thing on there because I think this looks cute in and of itself. We could do some kind of a circle Christmas sentiment. So I might reserve the rights to do that later and find something that will work. So I'm going to go ahead and get this laid down on here so that I can position my twine so it doesn't, doesn't move on me or whatever. However, I did get it pretty tight, so I think it'll be all right, but we're going to go ahead and get it positioned. So this will be our sketch 6 completed, and we're not going to use that pie. I think it would have been fun, but I don't want to cover up that scene because these panels are just beautiful enough without, a lot of extra bells and whistles. Now let's make sure I got my card going in the right direction, and then we'll get this lined up on there. And now we have got sketch 6 completed. I love it. I think it's super cute. We don't have a sentiment. We can put, a circle on there if we want to later. I think I would go with a smaller one than what my pie is if I even do that. Or I just might put something on the inside. So I certainly could add my pie to the inside of it. Okay, so let's move on to 7, and this one's kind of fun. So 7 actually has a square panel and then a background panel, and then it has some die cut out pieces. So this is where I took my square panel and I die cut out my circles from my scene so that I can have a continuation of my scene. And I also saved my background panel so that I could layer it up and just continue the scene. So I thought that would be fun. So we're going to give it a shot and see how it turns out. And I think it'll be fun. So we're going to lay this down, and this is A2 size, so it should lay down, if my card base is decent, it should lay down right. So we'll go ahead and get some glue on here and get it laid down. I think this was my most fun one because I thought, oh, this is, between the first one and this one, you kind of had to do a little bit of extra work to get it where you wanted it for the scene, but super, super fun. So then for this one, I think we'll go ahead and create our panel here. I just took a die and die cut this out. She had a fishtail on both ends. I didn't have one, so I found this one, and I'm going to use it. So I've got my layer here, and I'm just going to get it laid down on there. And we'll try to get a nice little border all the way around there. That's not too bad. Now on this, our little banner lays across here like this, and then our circles come back in. So we'll get it laid down on there. I think I'm going to glue it flat because we're going to have, I want to get those circles positioned as closely as I can to what I've got going on there. So hopefully that's straight. It's not wanting to stick. I'm going to get it lined up on a line here so I can get it. If I can get one line lined up, then I can line up the other, and just, I need to go that way a little bit. Give it a little bit of time to hold. Super, super fun. Now, I got these out of order, so I got to figure out what I got going on here. So we know this one goes right here. Super fun. And I think we might even pop it up a little bit more just for fun. And then I got to figure this one out. I think this one goes right here. And then this one goes right like this. Isn't that fun? I think this is super fun. Okay, so I'm going to grab, I had a little bring up some foam squares handy. Not finding it. All right, we'll just cut these down. I think we can get 3 squares out of this and get these laid down on here. And I think this is going to be a fun little scene. Okay. Now this first one is by far the easiest one to kind of get laid down on there because you've got, you know, the snow, and I can kind of line it up with the snow. Now obviously you can, you know, line up the die piece, but I'm trying to keep the scene together there. And then I think I decided that this one is going to go like this. That's fun. And then our next one, the little tidbit is there's a little bit of red there, so that's helping me to figure out how to get this one laid down. Is that little piece of red right there is helping me. So we've got that. And then this will just fit. Of course, because I've layered it, I've got room to where I can just lay it down on there like that. And additionally, we can continue our scene. So see how cool that is? Love it. I love it. Lots and lots of fun. I think for this, I'm even going to go ahead and bring in some more foam and pop it up. And we can get it right inside of this frame, hopefully. So, and then we've got, I guess, just one more after that. So, and I'm running out of the rest of my foam here, so we'll just slap that down there. And okay. And then get positioned to where you can line it up correctly. I want to get up far enough to where I have my tree showing there at the bottom, kind of lined up. And now we just have a continuation of our scene, and we've got the next sketch, sketch 7. Isn't that fun? Super, super fun. Now, for this one, do we have something? I think we could add, it's the most wonderful time of the year to this. I do want to cut it down because it's so big, but I think it would look nice at the bottom. So let's see if we can get it cut down to a smaller size to make it fit a little bit better on our card. And I'm just trying to get it lined up and not cut off part of my words. Okay. And then for this one, we can add, oh, we need to cut the sides off a little bit. So, I don't know what happened with that, but yeah, I want to bring it in a little bit. There we go. And now we've got, it's the most wonderful time of the year, and I think that goes really, really well with this particular scene. So we've just got one more. Hang with me. How are we doing? We are 39 minutes in. I think we're going to get it. We're going to get it done quicker. I think we'll get it done. Look at that. Is that pretty or what? So it definitely looks like the sketch. She doesn't show a sentiment at the bottom, but you know, you're at liberty to do that. So, okay, our next one, we're going to work on sketch 8, and I've got it ready to go. This is a fun one. So this one here, I'm going to use the little birdies, and I thought it would be super fun to use them because we kind of had this, where this panel is here, we just had a really good view on there. So what I did was I took my sketches and I looked at my panels, and I thought, which sketch looks like my panel? And so that's how I determined how I was going to cut them. I just kind of eyeballed them and figured it out. Now for this one, this particular piece of pattern paper has a layer behind it. The other two do not. They're like, it's like a background layer. But it's all going to work. It's going to work out. So, just looks like I've got it just a smidgen off. I'm going to do it. Okay. So I'm just going to try and line this up and fix it a little bit. I think that's better. Okay, it was just a hair. So for this scene, let's go ahead, and I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's go ahead and get our panels laid down, and then we can create our scene. Now, as I'm thinking about this, let's not put it on the card base in case we want to add some twine to it. So let's layer this down, try and get a decent edge around it. Go up just a little bit, over just a little bit. There we go. And what this is going to look like is we're going to have this piece. I'm trying to get my sketch in front of me so I can remember what I'm doing. This piece is going to go here on the edge, and then we're going to have this piece, and then we're going to have this piece. So we want to line it up to where we've kind of got a good edge on there. Like that. Very fun. Okay, so let's watch our margins on both sides, and then we'll get our centerpiece. So I know I need a good little margin on there. I think that'll work. Let's position this and then give this a look-see. I think it's going to work. We might have a little bit of blue showing behind there, but I think it'll work just fine. Super, super fun. This idea came up in my head, and I was like, I have got to do it. It just seemed like it would be fun. And then we'll get this one laid down. And I think, and it's supposed to be longer than the other, so I did cut it longer. And we have just that amount. So I think what we're going to do is we'll pop this one up, and that way we'll have some dimension. And I'm working with these squares I've got. And then let's just pull the sheets off. And I think we're going to add some twine to this one as well. And I brought in that vintage photo thinking I was going to use it, but I had in mind that I would use that vintage photo and to blend up that pie. And since we decided not to use the pie, I was going to put some just some dimension on the pie shell, the pie crust. And so since we decided not to use that, I don't need the blending brush or the ink, because everything's coming together here. Oops, okay. So here we go. Just gonna get it. Actually, I'm gonna go more toward this side and have the blue on the other, because I'm gonna use my twine to cover that up. Oh, that's cute, very cute. So for this one, we're gonna bring in some twine, and we're gonna go from top to bottom. That's what we're gonna do. And I'm sure I'm going to cut it with too much. And we're just going to create another bow. And these are going to be kind of some almost like vintage or country type Christmas cards. Super fun. All right, now I need that third set of hands. I don't want to get too tight. I want it taut, but I don't want it so tight that I can't work with it. That's cute. Okay. There's that. And we've got our panel. I like it. I think it's a good representation of sketch 8. Now this one also has a circle on it. And again, you can choose to not add the circles or whatever. I'm going to try and just glue this one straight down and see if it will work. Do I have any strips? I'm trying to think. I think we can get that glued down with our twine on there and it won't create much of a problem. Okay. And I've got it lined up. I've got a little bit of white showing at the bottom. I would normally use my guillotine, but I don't want to cut my ribbon, so I'm going to use my scissors and just try and trim that white off the bottom of that card base. There we go. Very good. Okay, so that finishes off sketches 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of KCC challenge. And I've used these A2 size panels. I'm going to link all the materials in the description box below so you can check it out. But I think that it was super fun. I love the opportunity to use these A2 full panels and create just some fun cards and just have some fun with it. So I've got these. I could add some more of these, but I don't really think I need to. I think I've got, with these sketches and the way I did it, I think we've got enough. So here's sketch 4. Here's sketch 5. Sketch 6, 7, and 8. Aren't these fun? Thanks for watching and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. And so you could take a closer look at how I utilized the sketches and did the strips and different panels of them. I took several videos and did some different angles so you can see the dimension that slicing up these panels creates and how you can, in fact, work with the sketches and continue the scenes and just really have some fun with it. So I hope you enjoyed the video and enjoyed following along as I made these cards. I also want to thank you for stopping by my channel and watching. I do appreciate each and every one of you. It is so helpful. And I enjoy our friendship and the comments that you leave. And if you would, consider subscribing if you haven't. And if you haven't hit that like, if you'd hit that like, that is very helpful to me as well. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye now.